What is the best way to be positioned to not benefit from the war? I'm not saying that, but to be hurt the least, to be least affected by the war in the Middle East that is spreading. Some people are saying, like, it seems much of the world is at war now, much of the world is involved. It's horrible to benefit from it. I'm not talking about that, like going and buying shares in defense stocks. I would never want to benefit from the war. But the best thing to do is to keep buying silver and copper in physical form. I like coins. You could buy bars. This is the best way to protect yourself, and it's a silver bullet against the cunning men who are killing people in war. They're gonna run out of silver and copper. The amount of munitions and military equipment that is being used up every day for days now. We're talking thousands of rockets every day. Thousands designed to attack, and for everyone that designed to attack, sometimes multiple tried to intercept them and defend on both sides. There's 1,000 coming from Iran towards Israel, and there's 1,000 coming from Israel towards Iran, and each one of those has got multiple rockets designed to intercept them. The ones that make it through are destroying so much military equipment. That's the targets. The targets are all the anti-missile defense systems and the radar and the computer equipment. All that needs to be replaced. And it is being replaced in rapid fashion. Trump says, come on, just increase production. I want you to double time the production. They're borrowing military equipment from South Korea and from Japan and from Ukraine. It's the Americans gave Ukraine all this. Ukraine hasn't got its own military equipment, of course not. America gave it all to Ukraine, and now America is saying we need it back just temporarily, but don't worry, our factories are working warp speed to make these new computer systems and military equipment, and then hopefully they'll give it back to Ukraine in time, the new one, and they'll give it back to Asia, Japan and South Korea, who had to give up their military equipment. The computer systems use so much silver and copper, and the missiles, the munitions, the ammo. They haven't got infinite ammo. They've got infinite dollars. They can type in any number you can think of. If they need to make even quicker the factories to use up the copper and silver even faster, they'll type in 100 billion every couple of hours if they need to. Just spend as much as you can. We need that silver and copper. They're going to make these computer systems, these military equipment, the rockets, the torpedoes that have been fired in this warfare, and all the military equipment is using up the last of the silver and the copper. If you hate war, all you have to do is keep taking silver and copper out of the hands of the cunning men. Once we drain the supply, the available supply, they can't replace those military computer systems, targeting systems. They can't replace those rockets, those drones. They can't be made without silver and copper. And there's extreme shortages now. So that's the first thing to do. Buy silver and copper. Get out of all stock markets. The stock markets all go down. It's clear to see, isn't it? The stock markets around the world were way overvalued anyway. Now they're all crashing. All businesses, pretty much all businesses, except defense stocks, they're the only ones going up. All the others are going to find less profits, more expenses. They're all going to find higher energy costs, higher fuel costs, harder to get the things they need, harder to transport. I mean, more expensive. Fuel is getting so expensive, and you ain't seen nothing yet. Fuel and energy is going to double from here. It will. And you think it's high now, it's not compared to what it'll be soon. The stock markets are all going down. Property is going down pretty much all around the world, generally speaking, particularly in the Middle East. The Middle East, the property market is just finished. People are desperate to sell. All these sellers, there are no buyers. Who would want to buy a place, even if it's dirt cheap? You don't want to buy a place in Dubai, Saudi Arabia. chance of it getting blown up. You know, everyone's leaving. Very, very high supply. There's no demand. Everybody wants to sell, nobody wants to buy. But that's the extreme, that's the Middle East. But even far away from the trouble, like the UK, generally speaking, this is true, isn't it? Anybody would agree with me with this. Lower interest rates they are, the higher the house prices go. The higher the interest rates are, the lower the house prices go. It's so simple. We've had for decades now, since 2008, we've had record low interest rates, which has blown the housing bubble so high. Unusually low interest rates have just made house prices go way overvalued compared to everything else. Way more than inflation, way more than everything else. Now interest rates have got to correct back up, and they will, because inflation is going to be raging. Raging inflation, food, energy, fuel, stuff, you know, goods and services. Inflation is going to go up because of the Straits of Hormuz being pretty much shut. It's not shut to all Chinese and Russian, they're friends of Iran, but it's shut to everyone who's not a friend of Iran. You're going to see massive inflation. They're going to have to put interest rate. This is interest rates and this is inflation. As inflation's going up, interest rates have got to go above inflation to try and stop. And it will. If you put interest rates above inflation, it will slow down inflation. It won't stop it, but it will slow it down. Soon inflation, real inflation, is going to be 5-6% when the figures come in after the. I mean, it's been such a short time, this war. It takes a bit of time to filter through. When inflation goes up, they've got to put interest rates. The base rate is going to be 5-6-7%. The base rate. So mortgage payments are going to be 10%. Some of them. You're doing well. I locked in a fix for a couple of years at 10%. Oh, that's low. Only 10%. Everyone else is paying 17%, like they were in the 1970s. 17% interest on your mortgage. What's that do to house prices? It will crater house prices. You're going to see a house price crash now. That is happening. It started. It's going to pick up speed. So anybody with any sense is going to sell their house now. If you've got any property, if you're a property owner, if you own the house you live in now, you might just want to ride out the storm. Like, no, I'm happy, I'm going to ride it out. That's fine. Wait a couple of decades probably until you get back up to where it was. If you can, sell now. I know it's hard. I know you're going to take a hit. You've got to. House prices coming down. They're like this, you know. It's like you've got to get under. All the houses in the area at this price. If you want to sell yours, you've got to get under there. And then someone else is desperate to sell. They've got to get under you. And then someone else, I really want to sell now. They get under you. And it's going to just push house prices down now. As interest rates go up, there's going to be extreme difficulty getting a mortgage to start with. It's going to be extreme difficulty paying a mortgage you've already got. Some people, even before the crisis in the Middle East, said they are struggling with the cost of living to afford to pay their mortgage payments. That's for these low payments, low interest. It's going to double. Most people's mortgage payments are going to double when interest rates double or more. If they couldn't afford it now, they're not going to be able to afford it. There's going to be record numbers of repossessions where the bank said, look, you haven't paid your mortgage, you're in negative equity anyway, and they just jingle mail. They just give the keys back to the bank. I can't afford it, you try and sell it. And the banks are going to try and just sell these properties off cheap as chips at auctions. There's going to be hardly any buyers. Why would you buy when you know prices are going to be going down for years yet? House price crash is here. I think you're talking 50% crash. 50% crash from the top. The top is roughly UK average house prices about £300,000. I think you're looking at a 50% house price crash to UK average house price will be £150,000. It might take a little while to play out. It's going to be like this, you know, everyone's going to be trying to get under, and it's just going to keep, it'll take years. 2027, 2028, you're going to see massive house price crash, massive number of repossessions where people are repossessed, but then you're going to see massive numbers of squatters, more than the authorities are going to be able to deal with. At the moment, you're not allowed to squat in a residential building. If you do, the police and bailiffs can come and tear you out. If the owner goes through the process of getting them all to come. If you squat in a non-residential commercial building, it's different. You can squat there. It's hard for the owner or someone to try and get you out. It takes a lot longer. But what if there's massive numbers of squatters, massive numbers, people who just haven't paid their rent, and they've gone through the process. The owner, the landlord, has officially got the property back. Officially they've got the property back, and the bailiffs and the locksmith come around. We're going to forcibly evict you today, but they just can't cope with the numbers. There's not enough bailiffs, and there's so many people who are not able to afford the rent, or stop paying the rent, stop paying the mortgage. The bailiffs can't get around them all. There's going to be massive numbers of people who are essentially squatting in their own home. They can't afford the mortgage, they can't afford the rent. The bailiffs and the locksmith are trying to get around everybody, but they can't get around everybody. You might go years, and even when that time comes, people are putting up a fight now. People are getting confidence. I've seen it on Telegram. Go to Stacey's World Rocks, go to Beat the Bailiffs, go to Peace Officers UK. There's so many good groups in the UK, and people are fighting the bailiffs. I don't advocate that behaviour, but there's videos there. The bailiffs come around all confident, arrogant, and they get a bucket of sewage thrown over them. Someone's gone to the toilet in a bucket and thrown it over them, and they've got it on them, and they're screaming, I don't want to do this job, I quit. Nobody wants to be a bailiff. It's usually ex-cons, isn't it? It's usually people who got out of prison. But nobody wants to do that job. They can't be violent. If they lose their temper once and they're violent, then that's it. You've got to pay out like £40,000 or something like that. If they really hurt you, if they're violent with you and you say, I've got a bad neck, I'm in pain the rest of my life, you get £40,000, like, or something like that. So they can't be violent with you, but they can threaten and they can bluff. But I see a future now of massive numbers of people who are essentially squatting in their home. They're living there, not paying their housing costs because they can't afford it. The price of food is going crazy. Because the price of oil and energy, the knock-on effects, price of food, clothes, living expenses, cost of living is going crazy. You won't believe it. You think, now Dave Silver can't be right. I think loaf of bread is going to be several pounds, £8. Nice loaf of bread will be more than £10. £10 for a loaf of bread? Are you serious? Yeah. You imagine if that much inflation with bread, imagine with everything else. Imagine how much milk, cheese, eggs, tin of beans, pasta. Think how much food is going to cost. Good quality food. Go into a restaurant. How are restaurants going to stay in business? They won't. The cost of them to buy the food and prepare it, the cost to go and have a meal eating out, will be absolutely prohibitive. Hardly anybody will be able to do it. You're going to see crime levels shooting up. I mean, crime levels in the UK is absolutely ridiculous. I see it all the time. I was in, Marks and Spencer's the other day, and there's this scruffy looking guy with his hood up, and I heard these bags clunking, and I heard the security guy shouting, what's going on? He just filled up these 2 big bags of bottles of alcohol, I'd imagine, and he was just walking, and the security guard was trying to stop him, and he just pushed past, leave me alone, and he just walked out, and the security guard gave up. I couldn't believe it. And I said, someone told me that's happening all the time. It's like free reign. A lot of these people coming over on boats, on rubber boats, they realise Britain's a soft touch. Britain, the police are soft. Security guard, you can just walk into a shop and take what you like and nothing will happen. It's ridiculous. It makes me angry, but that is what these people are doing. And you ain't seen nothing yet. I think that's going to filter down to like normal, common people who would never think of doing criminal activity. But the cost of living crisis is going to force them into it. If it's a mother who can't feed her kids, crime levels are going to go through the roof. I just think be prepared for this. Be prepared. Security. Think about securing your home. I think you can't rely on calling the police. You could try, but whether they're going to help you, I wouldn't rely on them at all. You need to take measures into your own hands for securing yourself and your property. You need to think about, I've talked about having a blow dart gun for hunting, providing food, and maybe even for self-defense from the upstairs window, maybe. I'm not advocating that, but maybe. But I think take measures now to be prepared for very hard times down the road. And finally, one more thing in conclusion. If you're struggling with the bailiffs now, and a lot of people are contacting me, the bailiffs are giving them a hard time. They say, I owe them this much money for this, for this, for this. Don't worry about it. Much harder times are coming. You've just got to hold out. You know, do whatever you can for delaying tactics, whatever you can. Be strong. Don't give up. Do not give up. Remember, you're playing for standoff. If you followed what I've said in my previous video, if you've done a consultation with me, you've paid for something with a promissory note, they're trying to say, no, you haven't paid for it. You say you have. Say, I paid for it in cash, I can prove it. They say, no, that's not cash. Or they might try and say, we don't accept that form of payment. We don't accept that cash. Just hold out. Things are going to go crazy. At the moment, what is it? It's still early March 2026. I think by mid-2026, there could be some really, really crazy things happening. Who knows? You know, people are talking about, if the Straits of Hormuz don't open, America says they're going to go to quite extreme measures. You know, they might drop a tactical nuke on Iran or something like that. I hope not. But maybe before it gets to that, there might be something else that happens. But things are going crazy. I wouldn't worry about it. If you've got the goon squad coming round, be strong. Do not answer the door. Do not answer the letters. Do not answer any phone calls to anybody you don't know. You're under no obligation to speak to anybody that you don't know. Zero obligation. Didn't your mother ever teach you don't talk to strangers? Do not open the door. If they're there with a locksmith, they want to fit prepay meters, or they're trying to evict you, put up a bit of a fight. But you don't have to speak to them. Just make their life difficult. You know, they might give up. They might not. They might be successful. But give me a call. I might be able to get someone. It depends on where you live. Is there a rapid response unit near to you? Get involved with the groups on Telegram, please. Get on Stacey's World Rocks Telegram group. See if there's other people in your area. Help each other. I think she is brilliant. She is absolutely brilliant. When she talks about, people often ask her, do I need permission to do it? Or, no, they ask her, can I do this? Can I do that? And she says, stop asking permission. You know, where did you get this subservient mindset from? That, oh, can I not open the door to the bailiffs? What if they're knocking and they say they want to speak to me? Can I just ignore them and not speak to them? Why would you ask that question? Of course you don't answer the door to them. Do not speak to them. And they say, oh, I've got to show them my ID. Is it all right if I don't show them my ID? Do not speak to them. Definitely don't show them your ID. Don't answer letters. You're telling people who you are and where you are. You do not answer questions. Please get on the Stacey's World Rocks groups. Get on the chats. Watch what she says here. This is an interesting clip.
But most things, like, can I stop paying this? Can I stop paying that? Can I keep the door shut? Can I open the door? Can I ignore someone? Can I ignore a letter? Can I respond to a letter? Can I do... You've got to stop asking permission. Do what the fuck you want. Anyone's got a right to do anything they want in this life. Anything you want. Even the shady stuff. It doesn't mean to say you should do it, but you've got a right to do anything, and nobody's granted you these rights. You've just got them. But yeah, you've got to stop asking permission, because it's putting you in a subservient mindset. And people come to my events all the time and they ask me, can I do this? Can I do that? And I said, well, I don't know. Can you? Are you capable? Are you willing? Do what the fuck you want.